Jordan.
Well, after years of rebuilding from Hurricane Michael, the city of Springfield is opening the doors to a new government complex.
It's a fresh start for the Springfield city leaders who cut the ribbon on the new municipal complex building located on Transmitter Road earlier today.
The facility brings City Hall, police, fire, and public works into one central location, making services more accessible. Hurricane Michael destroyed nearly all of the city's buildings, forcing operations into temporary spaces for years.
And we lost every building we had except for the library for the last 7.5 years. Tropical storm comes in or even a heavy thunderstorm. They was in temporary trailers. We had to move them out, had to have some place to put them.
Well, now leaders say these hurricane-rated buildings will help first responders stay ready, especially with storm season around the corner.
And city officials say they'll begin